It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Kyle.
You're not a dad unless you have multiple graphic tees with different dad slogans on them.
Something like a notorious DAD parked right on the center.
Right. To show that I'm a dad, but I'm still kind of cool.
You're really cool.
I'm mostly suburbs, but I'm still a little bit urban.
And Steve.
Listed 300 for that, and was it just posted? Was it fresh? Because
it may have been posted. I feel like it had been posted like within a day or two.
And you're the pro, so you know that if that thing had said listed weeks ago or 2 weeks ago,
I'm offering you $25, and you have to bring it to me. Take it or leave it.
My guess, they're going to leave it.
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
I need to go back and listen to the time that you tried to play the intro.
Oh, you know what? It might be. We should bring that back.
On that piano keyboard that Annette brought home from her old job. We set it up. It was here for, I think, 8 weeks. Touched once.
But I got to tell you, the one time it was touched, if I remember correctly,
it was amazing.
Felt like pure magic.
That was, let's see, that was APS 3.1.
Yeah, that was in that far corner.
Yeah.
Which is,
because
again,
then this became 3.2 over here, and then...
Now we're in 4.0.
Right.
It is, it's funny walking around your house and saying, hey, we recorded there, we've recorded there. Yeah. It's like what a lot of young, cool couples talk about when they're like dating and stuff. Like, hey, remember when we did it there?
Right.
But you and I are like, yeah, we recorded a podcast on the 3-season room. We've recorded a podcast on the deck.
Yeah. Yeah, Deckcast was... How many times? We did that a couple times, right?
A couple of times, yeah. We've recorded on two of the 3 eligible corners of your basement, and now a whole separate room in your basement. We're just really working our way around your house. Stay tuned for Forest Cast.
Oh, I can't wait.
Coming up as maybe we do a live stream podcast as you and I are renting that cherry picker or whatever. And
to cut down the trees?
To cut down those dead trees.
I'd be lying if I said that didn't come up within the last 24 hours. I was hanging out with a buddy of mine last night. I was like, what do you think about this? Because I've run it by everybody.
Yeah.
Unanimously. Everyone thinks that it is a terrible decision.
To take them down yourself?
To take them down ourselves.
Well, they don't know the sheer willpower of a man who has fully reconstructed... How many garage doors? 2.5? 3.5?
Oh, God, no. I did the one at my old house, the one at Annette's house, the one at Annette's house a half time, so we're at 2.5. I did both of the doors here, so it's 3.5, 4.5. And then I did your double door, which technically is 2 doors. So that's, what, 6 something? 8?
So this friend 12? You're talking to clearly does not know the sheer willpower, and a lot of people would say ignorance, of Steve when he puts his mind to something that doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
I would argue...
You're not afraid of heights, right?
I'm not as bad with them as... It's. I guess I don't know. I'm trying to put myself in a pair of shoes where I was at
hypothetically.
Right now.
Hypothetically.
Yeah.
There are 3 trees.
Yeah, sure.
And a cherry picker. Roughly 50 feet off the ground. You're in said cherry picker right next to said trees. Hypothetically.
Yeah.
Are you afraid? You get a good
look? Probably a little bit.
You're going to get a good look into the birders' yard, though? Look into their lives?
Yeah, there's going to be a couple of pair of binoculars eyeballing, making sure we're not disturbing any endangered species. So, this is a chainsaw thing, correct? So you're going out there with a chainsaw. Okay, so I'm not
going up with a chainsaw, and I'm figuring cutting off about 8 or 10 feet at a time, and hoping. See, I think it's a 2-person in the bucket job.
Oh, you think so?
One to run the chainsaw, and the other one to just kind of direct the log to make sure it goes the correct way and doesn't land on a fence or anything like that.
Then I hesitate to tell you my plan. which was to be on the ground, holding my shirt out like a basket
to catch
the logs as they fell.
I still think that it's a possible thing. I just need to get Annette out of the house for a full day.
Yeah.
Like early on, because I got to run over to the rental place to pick up the cherry picker.
I mean, I'm sure if you pay a few extra bucks off the top, you could time it so that Annette's out the house by 9:30.
Yeah.
That cherry picker's dropped off at 10.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to leave the house, so you're just back there with, I'm guessing, fingerless gloves on, and like a band tied around your head so no sweat gets in your eyes when you're 50 feet up in the air.
Yeah. But because the way I look at it, I'm only going to have to be 50 feet up in the air for about 10 minutes. Cut the tops off those trees, lower it down to 40 feet. Cut another 10 feet off, lower it down to like 30. Once I'm down at 20 feet, 25 feet, I'm good because then I can just cut them off at the bottom and let them fall over. Yeah.
I don't think I'm struggling to understand why your friend or anybody. I could understand why Annette would not love this idea of husband of her or father of her kids,
50 feet in the air with a chainsaw.
Yeah. And no, I did not include husband, lover, etc. in that.
No,
I mean,
this
is
just
a
father.
strict father being up 50 feet in the air thing for an extended period.
Yeah, primary breadwinner.
Right. I could understand that lack of excitement. But your friend just saying, no, that seems ridiculous. To me, who I am the first, and I would say I am the first person to typically tell you your ideas are half-cocked or dumb, I think this is perfectly reasonable.
All right.
And if you're comfortable with heights at all.
So are you in? Is that what you're saying?
I'm absolutely in for tree cutting day.
Okay. Maybe, I know what we could do. It could be a 2-person job, 1 person in the bucket. So I'll take the bucket work. Okay. I'll be up there. We're just going to get some ropes. And I'm going to tie the rope around the section of the tree before I cut it. And you're just going to be on the ground pulling. So just directing it in the right area. So it doesn't fall back and land on me.
Absolutely.
It doesn't fall on the birders' fence or their shed.
Absolutely. And you only have, if I remember the location, there was only one of these that had a real danger of landing somewhere else, correct?
Oh, no. All 3 of them could crush the neighbor's house pretty easily.
Is this something, though, and you're a bit of a YouTube professional yourself with the Second Chance Jeeps channel. How's that coming?
Good.
Don't care.
Yep. Okay. Seems rude.
But you're out there. You're a content creator. Would you be willing to consume, let's call it 20 minutes of content on suggestions of when you're doing this? I've seen, do you carve like the divot one way at the bottom of all these trees so that when it does...
notch,
Okay. Is that something you do for this so that you wouldn't have to worry about the birders? Okay. So I think 25 minutes of YouTube content gets us to the sweet spot there then.
Yeah. So, again...
I'm in.
You're in.
I'm in.
Okay.
I think this is a totally acceptable idea, knowing the cost of what a tree cutting or tree removal company is going to charge you, which is going to be exorbitant. And even if Annette convinced you to say, hey, let's get some quotes, let's get some people out here to talk about this.
We've had the quote. We were force-fed a quote by the birders.
That's right. But that was an incorrect quote, you think, maybe? Or was that the same quote where...
No, they had gotten a quote to get their trees cut down, and there was a miscommunication because the birders had said, hey, how much to cut the 3 down in their yard, too?
Yeah.
And they said $150, which, I mean, for a tree as big as it would have been a steal. So they came out. They cut down the 3 in their yard. They cut down 1 in our yard. So there were actually 4 originally. They cut down 1, and then they were like, yeah, we're not doing those other 3 for $150. Somebody dropped the ball somewhere. There was some kind of miscommunication. So the birders took it upon themselves to say, all right, well, can you give them an estimate to cut those 3 trees down? And then they emailed or they dropped off an estimate at our house, again, that we didn't ask for. It was between $1,800 and $2,000. So that's a lot of money.
It's insane.
Yeah. Now, granted, that was everything. Cut them down, haul them away. Like that's
probably what you would want anyway, right?
Yeah, there's no indication that those trees were still there except for a stump.
Right.
Which I would definitely want. Because I remember when I had that massive tree in the backyard at my old house.
And you cut it down.
I didn't cut it down, but someone cut it down.
You left
I was like scraping by.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of money at the time. So I paid $600 for them just to cut it down and then leave. And it took me a week and a half of working every day after work for at least 4 or 5 hours with a chainsaw, cutting it into smaller pieces, rolling those pieces into the back of my friend's truck that I was borrowing, driving to the local yard waste drop-off. But I saved probably $2,000. So at that time in my life,
it was necessary.
I was single, wasn't living with anybody at the time, obviously no kids. I would just go to work in the morning, come home, and then be like, all right, what am I going to do for the next 8 to 10 hours before I go to bed?
Yeah.
I may as well chainsaw some trees.
Yeah, I'll go load up the gas can and dump it into the chainsaw 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And cut up this tree and then, oh man.
And I can't say that I didn't, I enjoyed it.
You can't look back on that fondly.
I mean, I remember looking back on it, the only fondness that I remember is just that sense of satisfaction of knowing that I saved like $2,000. This is great.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have $2,000 to save.
Nowadays, you would look back at that and say, wow, I should say, I would look back at that and say, boy, I used 25 hours of whatever. Now, granted, like you said, you didn't have any obligations.
Those hours, it was either going to be used doing that or sitting on the couch or doing something stupid.
Right. Yeah, like hand down your pants or out at a bar or doing something else, right? So this was, I hesitate to call it productive, but at least it was something not damaging.
But man, that was a huge, huge tree. And that took me forever. But
I'd like to see this happen.
I want to do it. I know what we need to do. Need to get your wife involved. Mm-hmm. Need to say, hey, you and Annette haven't gotten together in a while. You've been so busy with school and with work. Why don't you do a girls' day with Annette? I mean, girls' day, but you got to take all the kids with you too. So not enjoyable whatsoever. Right. We need them out of the house for, I'm going to say 4 hours.
Well, I can tell you right now.
Because those 2 trees are right next to each other. So I go up high in the bucket one time. Zoop, zoop. I can get them both and just work my way down that tree. It's a good idea, right?
I think we're being a bit aggressive on the timeline.
You don't think? Well, I think 4 hours from the time we have the cherry picker set up. That's going to take some work.
Yeah.
Because I have to drive it into the backyard, back it up through the woods. It's a little bit of work.
It's going to be and it is a bit of a tight spot, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, all good ideas end with right? Maybe put that on the poll.
I will, and I'm putting on the poll our very first poll today. We're going to figure out some type of alternate. I believe poll voting is going bye-bye.
I've seen that.
Twitter. So
I've seen that.
I don't know what we're going to do, but this is such, for my purpose, an integral part of what we do here in terms of interaction.
Is this it?
I don't know. I mean, listen,
could this be it?
We have 2 votes that say yes. So people are either paying already for Twitter, or people can actually still vote in our polls. So yes, you can find those polls at Steve and Kyle. And this is a bummer.
I mean, I guess we could just do the A or B like we've done with poll badness.
Oh yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's not the same.
No. Because then I'm not counting those every week. I do this 5 weeks a year, and it's I've accepted it. Mm-hmm. I've moved on. I deal with it. Mm-hmm. I am steadfastly not doing this every week, saying 63% of the people who wrote in agreed. No way. So vote on those polls while you can on Twitter at Steve and Kyle.
Yeah, before they go the way of the dodo.
That's right. I we did not have time to talk about it last week, Steve.
You had a big week.
I did.
Did you add this on Facebook as a life event? You know how you can put when you graduated high school, when you got married.
Yeah.
Can you do that right now? I would like.
Yeah, let me go to my personal Facebook there and see if I can add that. That's not a bad idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Because
you had, I mean, the biggest event in your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
This past week, I finally got to break the seal. I finally got to pop my cherry for Bruce Springsteen.
Ooh, and the E Street Band.
And the E Street Band, which...
Yes.
Now, this was not the first time I've had tickets to see Bruce Springsteen. The last time was about 7 years ago this week.
Mm-hmm.
And was not able to attend. And turns out that in hindsight... He was not even touring with the E Street Band at that tour.
Was that the... What tour was that?
Oh, boy, I don't remember. 2016.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
But I was able to finagle my way, which every single person would agree, was a train wreck of a method to get tickets.
With the Ticketmaster thing.
Ticketmaster and Springsteen finally saying... I'm done appeasing the common man. And he was the very first big artist who adapted this dynamic pricing method, right?
Right. So basically pricing on demand, not on demand, but I mean, by demand, I guess.
Yeah.
The more demand, the higher the tickets are going to cost.
So even working from home, I have, they highlight sections that are available. I click one, I just click two. They go to my cart. They say, oops, another fan beat you to these. Mm-hmm. And then I'd click on two more and it'd say the price has changed. Oops, another fan. I'd given up.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long did that process go on?
It took me almost 50 minutes. And to the point where, like I said, I had given up, but I was still in the lobby or the waiting, where you can see the venue.
Yeah. And
I had the sections kind of turn dark blue, light blue, gray when they're gone for 2 tickets. And I happened to be looking at the screen, and somebody must have timed out or something, and I saw the section turn light blue. Got 2 tickets in the cart. Immediately, had the payment method saved and everything, and checked out and was able to get them. Okay. For all things considered, what a lot of the horror stories are saying, not overly...
Do you mind saying what you paid?
Yeah, for the ticket itself, or do you want all in?
I want to know what the ticket price was, and then I'll try to guess what... So this is 2 tickets.
2 tickets, yeah.
Okay.
The ticket itself, 1 ticket, was $99.
Okay. I was going to say between $100 and $150 for the ticket. So you're at $200 just for tickets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all in, it's got to be less than $400, right?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe it was just over $300.
That's not terrible.
So over $100, over $50 per ticket in fees.
Yep.
But anyway, to me, it did not matter. I bought these last July. It was more of a set it and forget it situation because, again, that was July.
Yeah.
It was 9 months ago, something insane. So had it all planned out. And then, wouldn't you know it, Steve, last week, guess what starts going around the old daycare?
Oh, okay. So some COVID or something?
The old stomach flu.
The old stomach flu. Great.
So I pick up Reed, or Katie picks up Reed, something like that, on Thursday afternoon. Says, yep, one of the little girls there went home sick, throwing up. I said, oh, boy, please don't do this. Please don't do this. Friday comes around, he begs you, he ends up asking for a sleepover, sleepover at my mother-in-law's.
Okay.
So he's staying there, and it's all a haze to me. Katie went over there to get him early Saturday morning, because he was up all night throwing up everywhere.
Okay. Not great.
So I don't mean to be selfish, but in my head I'm thinking, okay, I've got 4 days to get, to avoid this.
Yeah.
Right? Because...
you get a hotel room, right?
This is 9 months ticket purchase.
You say, see you later.
Right.
Hitting the road for a couple days.
Sayonara, family.
For the boss.
I'll be in Detroit if you need me for 4 days. Oh, hang on. By the way, I did just find the life events. So I'm going to go ahead. Should I put this as a milestone and achievement or an interest or activity?
No, milestone and achievement, definitely.
Yeah. Milestone. Create first Bruce Springsteen concert.
Yeah. By the way, do you have any other life events listed or
no?
Okay, so this is it.
This is the one. I don't even know if my birth's listed on there, for good reason. Mm-hmm. March 29, 2023. There it is. First Bruce Springsteen show added. Okay. So I'm a little nervous, and in the back of my head, I'm already on Ticketmaster's resale site because I'm thinking
it's going to fall through.
It's going to. There's no chance I'm seeing Springsteen.
I would have bought them from you. If you had called me day of.
You would have actually bought them and gone?
Yeah, I would have bought them and gone.
Wow.
I mean, it would have been just an absolutely terrible second half of the week for me.
Sure.
But I would have done it.
Yeah. Because, and you've seen him how many times?
Don't know. 6, 7 maybe.
That would have been a real rub it in my face situation there if I couldn't have gone and then had to see you go. And
well, also because I would have lowballed you for the tickets.
Yeah.
I would have offered pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, and probably out of spite, I would have eaten the total loss just so you couldn't go.
I would have said, I'll give you face value. Not my fault about the...
And that, honestly, that's all I would have asked.
Yeah, I want face value. Not my fault that your kid is sick.
Yeah.
Drink some more orange juice, Reed.
Well, that didn't become a problem, Steve, because Reed was outside of, not eating much the next day on Saturday, whatever. By Sunday, he was up and at 'em, doing great. We decided we're going to do some pizza for dinner on Sunday night, and we told him last time we do pizza, we're going to make pizza. So we bought all the ingredients, which, by the way, it makes all the sense in the world that people just buy pizza, because once you buy all the ingredients, you've spent much more than if you had just bought a pizza.
Yeah.
So we make these pizzas, we eat. I'm feeling good. Reed goes to bed. We're sitting down, Katie and I, we turn on, it's either an episode of Shrinking or the Ted Lab, whatever it is.
Fantastic.
It's really great.
2 amazing shows. Right
really great.
Yeah. Are you all caught up on Shrinking?
No, we're only like 4 through. Yeah, we mix our TV. We don't have a consistent TV viewing schedule.
Yeah.
And it is rough the way we watch some show.
Yeah.
So there's a Netflix show that we watch that I think is just atrocious, that you can tell when it came out because there's Christmas themed episodes coming up.
Okay.
So
you're a bit behind.
Yeah. So we're sitting there and I look at Katie and I say, I just feel so full. That feeling where your stomach feels like it's all the way up your throat. And I said, and I only had 2 pieces of pizza. Only.
I know what's coming.
And I'm sitting there, and finally it's about 10 o'clock, and I go lay in bed, and doing okay. And then all of a sudden, my face gets flush.
Uh-oh.
My lips start tingling.
Yep. That's the early warning system.
And I am out of bed, into the bathroom, vomiting heavily.
Question, did you remember to take your shirt off?
My shirt was off, Steve.
Yes! So much easier, right?
I was colder than hell.
Yeah, but cleanup was a breeze.
Yeah.
Now, so as you're running to the bathroom, are you pulling the shirt off?
No.
Or was the shirt already off?
Shirt was already off.
Okay, shirt was already off.
Huh? Maybe middle of the day or a theme park near Gurnee, Illinois. And it wouldn't have been so cold.
Right.
But again, I'm sitting in my bathroom.
This was summertime in Illinois. It was a beautiful day.
In a house that I keep at night, like 66 degrees.
Okay, yeah, you're a cold sleeper.
So I am cold in the bathroom with no shirt on, vomiting. And they don't really warn you because there's nothing on this planet I despise more than vomiting. I hate the feeling of it. I hate the way it makes me feel afterwards. Yeah. A lot of people say, "Oh, just do it and it'll make you feel better." For me, I don't. I will go through 8 to 10 hours of discomfort and displeasure
to avoid it.
To avoid
really.
Up.
See, yeah. I'm the opposite. I'm like what you just said.
You're gonna get out.
I want to get it over with as quick as I can. I know how to do it. I just do like a couple of deep coughs.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. And the faucet is open.
Awful. So I throw up, go back to bed. I'm now shivering.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is great. It's all hitting now. It's all hitting.
Mm-hmm.
So go back to bed. 25, 30 minutes later, wake up, rip the covers off, run back to the bathroom. At this point, I'm starting to feel bad because now I don't want to keep waking up Katie, who for all intents and purposes is fine. So I go in there, grab my pillow. I tell her I'll sleep on the couch. Like, I don't want to keep waking you. And go try to sleep on the couch. I've got dogs. One dog who is now apparently so used to Katie and I sleeping in bed that she's now going back and forth between the bedroom and the couch and sitting at the foot and going and barking at me.
Right.
To go back to bed.
Yep.
So I get up one more time. Another visit to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Wow, so this wasn't a one and done.
No. So I barely sleep. Like, I'm talking 2 hours maybe. The alarm goes off because I finally, 6 o'clock, 6:15, I go back to bed for the 20 minutes before my alarm goes off. Stumble around, and Katie brings Reed to my parents for daycare that day because Reed is fine, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to, like I normally would, bring Reed to my parents and hand deliver whatever I have to my parents.
Yeah.
Go to work for a few hours, have to leave middle of the day because I can't keep my eyes open at this point. It's more fatigue than anything. Thinking, okay, this is it. I need to get it out of here. I need to be done with this by technically Tuesday night.
Yeah,
because
you got to power through, get it out of the system.
I need to get it done by Tuesday night so I can be to the Springsteen show on Wednesday.
Yeah. You got to do some kind of bodily cleanse.
Yes. So I'm drinking, and it's so hard because vomiting dehydrates you. It's taking everything out of your system. I'm dying of thirst, Steve. Dying of thirst.
Yeah.
But Katie keeps telling me just take tiny, tiny sips. And I'm sitting there with this glass of water. I'm going, like a little splash from the sink. And I'm just like savoring it. Like I'm that guy who got his leg stuck in 127 hours.
Right.
And had like 8 milliliters of water to last him for 5 days. Monday comes and goes. I make it. Stomach feels like it's just twisted all day, but I think it's half. There's nothing in there because I'm hungry. And Tuesday comes. I'm like, all right, back to work.
Yep.
Back to normal. Talking to Katie. I'm coming home from work early. We've now officially passed it.
Wait, are you at a point where you're not working from the basement anymore?
No, I was in the basement. Katie texts me.
Oh, I got you. Oh, she texts you.
I'm coming home early.
Oh.
So at this point, I rip open Ticketmaster again because I don't want to put her in a spot where I have to say, can I go to my first Springsteen show even if you feel bad?
Now, I'm sure that she would have insisted that you go.
I didn't even consider going alone.
Right.
I really didn't. It was either we were going to go.
You give your old buddy a call?
Honestly, you weren't even on the cards. I assumed you were a hard no because of the date.
Yeah, it would have been very tough in the moment.
Right.
If you had called or texted like that day saying, hey, you want to go to this show? Last minute?
Yeah.
I would have given it serious consideration.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have gone through with it, but
she comes home a little early from work Tuesday, says, I'm just nauseous. I have not thrown up. It just, my stomach doesn't feel right. I said, okay, I understand. We'll make the call tonight.
Yep.
I've paid for parking. I've paid for these tickets. Like everything's set.
How in are you at this point? You said it was like $300 for tickets. What's parking? $50?
Just $20.
$20?
Yeah. Well, that's, if you followed anything about Detroit when what the Ilitch family promised when they built this Little Caesars Arena for the Pistons and the Red Wings and concerts, They promised to build a district of Detroit, restaurants and hotels and all of this stuff, and it ended up being the world's biggest parking lot conglomerate. So that's all they have.
Yeah.
And they now have an app where you pay for parking in advance. So I found one less than a quarter mile away for $20. And it was a garage.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah. Not going to be any better than that. So the park, and it's all refundable, which is key. Like for me, I can get all this money back.
You could probably make money off the tickets if you wanted.
Maybe. You could see the market kind of downturn. So when I check this Tuesday, when she tells me that she's going to be coming home early, I immediately pull up the resale. And again, I don't want to make... I'm not... At this point, I would just be looking to get what I got out.
Yeah, try and make your money back if you can.
And they were going for less than what I paid.
Wow.
A few bucks.
That's surprising.
But knowing... I think even Ticketmaster on the resale, if you were to buy them resale, you would then have to pay fees again. It's a real circle jerk of idiocy.
Interesting.
Oh, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell her, rest. We'll make the call tonight. Take a nap. Do whatever. Do not feel obligated.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't feel like it, if you feel awful, we're not driving 2.5 hours there, sitting for 2.5 hours, driving 2.5 hours back at midnight in the dark, and then she was planning on working Thursday. So
although if you did, I could recommend a fantastic place to stop and barf along the way.
There is a lovely pilot near exit 67 on the way back from Detroit that if you need an emergency vomit, that's the place to go. You just
walk in there, take that shirt off, tell them Steve told you about the place.
I never did ask you. Now this is talking about our trip back from Boston where we consumed nothing but beer and cannoli.
Yeah.
So we on the drive back from that, I was driving. Steve was dead asleep.
I was in a rough spot. Yeah. I could not you can't get comfortable.
It's car sleep. It is what it is.
You can't get comfortable with a reclined seat.
Yeah.
No.
And I am doing everything in my power to not run us into a wall or into the median. And all of a sudden, your seat goes
vertical,
almost like an ejection in an airplane that you see, whoom, straight up back, and you're like, "Can we stop off? I think I'm going to be sick." And it's surprising you had that foresight, because it wasn't immediate. We were on the freeway.
Yeah, my body usually gives me a good 5-minute warning.
Yeah, and
I know
that's great. That's great because it worked out. We zipped off the highway into the very first parking lot. You calmly walked in, and I never asked. I never even thought to ask, did you take your shirt off at the gas station?
Look, that's like asking me if I, wore shoes to work today. The answer is always going to be yes.
It's just an amazing visual for me that you were in the bathroom of this gas station, truck stop gas station. So I guess it's less weird because these are places that have showers and stuff for these long haul truckers. But anyway, we digress. So Katie wakes up from her nap and I say, "How do you feel?" She has a piece of dry toast for dinner. At this point, I'm still planning on not going because I don't want to make her feel pressured to have to go. Granted, is this the last time we'll ever see Bruce and the full band in this iteration touring? Maybe. It's been at least a decade since the last one. Mm-hmm. Nope, we're going to go.
She rallied.
Kudos and my infinite thanks. At this point, we're back on track, man. Mm-hmm. We're back on track.
So how are you feeling at this point?
I'm okay. By Tuesday, maybe not Tuesday, by Wednesday, I was eating normally. I wasn't worried about what I was eating like I was on Tuesday. I probably could have consumed like I would normally, pop a handful of Skittles while eating a Ding Dong and then slug a Mountain Dew, my normal breakfast.
Sure, yeah, of course. Maybe a couple Pop-Tarts, the s'mores Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
Because you want to be healthy.
Right, and then I finish it off with just as many corn nuts as my mouth can hold.
I mean, that's kind of the perfect icing on the cake, or like the cherry on top of every good breakfast. is a mouthful of corn nuts. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, listen. You're talking to the guy who, again, would pop them in as he's walking around the kitchen. A lot of people chew gum. Mm-hmm. I maw corn nuts.
Oh, look at that. I just refreshed Facebook. I see first Bruce Springsteen concert as a life event. I'm going to go ahead and give that the heart.
I don't even have the birth of Reed on there. So anyway, Wednesday comes. We end up leaving on time. No hitches. We get over there early enough, around a little after 5, close to 5:30. And they say doors at 6:30. Mm-hmm. Show starts at 7:30. Now I had checked in advance. He takes the stage typically around 7:45.
Yeah.
So we looking around for a place to just grab a quick bite to eat. Mm-hmm. Nothing too serious. That takes a little while. No big deal. We're back at the arena, which we never moved within a tenth of a mile from it, looking for a restaurant. By 7:05.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I walk into is the biggest cluster of security at an arena I've ever encountered in my life.
Okay. Not good, huh?
This is supposedly less than 25 minutes before the entire show starts.
Not a good sign.
There are thousands. I don't mean hundreds. Legitimate thousands at just the 2 entrances I can see on one side of the arena.
And Bruce, he's not waiting.
No, Bruce is not. The worst experience I ever had with this was when they had a concert in a back parking lot behind the arena in town here, the Van Andel Arena. Mm-hmm. And it was, boy, why can't I think of not the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Who is it? The lead musician, he passed away. Anyway, he did not come. It was to see our Wayland. Mm-hmm. They opened for a band, and it ended up being a big to-do. The main band wouldn't let them on the same stage.
Oh, yeah.
Build. I forget.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I forget who that band's name was. They were a big band, but they waited until, I think, 9:30.
Yeah.
It was summer. The sun was down.
Yeah.
Before they took, I was sitting on a curb contemplating going home. Bruce, 75 years old. Not happening.
He is, very much a schedule-oriented show. There's no opening act.
Nope.
It is the show starts at this time. That's what time the band walks out on stage.
Yeah, and I looked back at about 4 shows to see the start time because they're all listed on set list. There's a set list website. Found it 7:45, 7:50, 7:45, 7:45. I said, "That's it. Mm-hmm. We have about 35 minutes to get in there."
Yeah.
Okay. And it took about 50.
So you missed.
We missed 2.5 songs.
Okay. What songs did you miss?
Ghosts, which is his lead single off of.
Yeah, that's a great song.
It's really good. It is really good. I do forget the second song I missed. We came in partway through "Letter to You."
Oh, I like that one too.
Which is a good song.
Yeah.
So I walk in and I immediately am trying to stop being Kyle because I'm mad. I'm mad.
Which, I mean, it's in your DNA to be you. So and nearly impossible.
I'm trying to not be perturbed about what just happened. And Katie's more upset because there's I wish I could describe to you how this was going. It was a mob. This stupid arena doesn't even have automatic doors that stay open. Yeah. So you've got one guy trying to hold a door with his foot while him and his wife are going through the door. But all the doors aren't open. They've only got 5 metal detectors, and it's just going atrociously slow. Yeah. It's an awful, awful, awful experience.
Well, I mean, in their defense, how could you possibly know how many tickets have been sold to the concert? There's no way to tell.
And honestly, it's probably partly my fault because we had a similar issue last year at the ballpark, which is owned by the same family, the Illich family, who runs the Tigers and the Red Wings, so both places, when we went and saw Elton John. And it was awful. Awful to get into the baseball stadium to see Elton John. And it took probably close to an hour. I just assumed it was different or better or, I don't know, not awful. Mm-hmm. So we missed 2.5 songs and we're walking the concourse. Hear a pin drop. Because everybody's in at the start of the show.
Yeah.
Outside of the people behind me, still waiting to get into the show.
Right.
And I'm sitting there, I'm walking, I'm telling Katie, I'm like, okay, this is aggravating. I go, do you want a drink? Do you have to go to the bathroom? Because right now is going to be
the ideal time.
Yep, because it's dead, and we've already missed 2.5.
Right.
Let's miss the extra half if that's what it needs to. If that's what needs to happen. But she says, nope. We go. We sit down. Hear the closing notes of Letter to You, and it took probably 30 seconds into the Promised Land. Grin on my face.
You were back.
And I'm ready, man.
Kyle's back.
Digging it. It's just, this is the last show on my bucket list.
Yeah.
The last artist for me at age 36 that over the years I've listened to so much and has shaped my way of enjoying music, that hearing an iconic song like that, I'm grinning ear to ear.
You're all in.
My eyes are damp, Steve. Because I finally get to see the man himself live in concert for the first time in my life. And boy, was it a joy.
Good.
It was a joy. I loved it. We had a very brief conversation, you and me and Brother Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I sent you a follow-up text, I think, Thursday, late morning. I just said, well, huh? How was it? We had a little back and forth.
Yeah.
You dropped a hot take that I was not expecting.
Yeah, and I hate to do that. Because...
That's fine. Look, it was a comment about a particular song, which I
would argue it's a fan favorite.
I respect your hot take. I will never agree with it. I love that song, and I've loved it forever. I will continue to love it, especially live.
The very, very, very early Boss, and by that I mean the first album, is not my favorite.
Okay,
and him playing a couple of songs from there were for me like, all right, let's get to the next one type of moments.
Yeah.
I am of the era of Springsteen, of Born to Run, Born in the USA. We could throw, Lucky Town, that whole era right into the garbage. But then those early 2000s to mid-teens, putting out tremendous music. And if you're not a Bruce Springsteen fan, I beg you to revisit a lot of these albums from... the album was The Rising, correct? After 9/11?
Yep.
The album The Rising after 9/11, Magic, Wrecking Ball, all three fantastic albums in the span of 13 to 14 years. So I still couldn't shake all of my general nature, though, Steve. So I did know how long the encore was, which, bless your soul, Bruce, for not doing. I hope more artists go the way of abandoning the old encore, which is... Let's act like we're all going to the dressing room and then be our adoring fans beckon. Yeah. We got to get back out there when everybody knows you're coming back out.
Right.
So Springsteen did their last song. The band all came to the front. They took a bow. They all went right back to their spots and kept playing.
Right.
And they played what I knew at that point was a 6 or 7 song encore.
Jeez. I
knew the second to last song, and I knew that's when we're leaving.
Yeah.
We're leaving that second to last song to beat these other idiots out of here.
Because you're still Kyle.
And I know I've got 2.5 hours home.
You still need to show people what they're doing wrong and what you're doing right.
Mm-hmm. He placed 2 of my favorites, Glory Days, Dancing in the Dark, back to back.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I look at Katie and I go, one more.
And what was the song that you skipped?
Oh, and it's probably me being a bad. I'll see you in my dreams.
Okay.
I'm unfamiliar enough with it, and I knew I'm okay missing it.
Yep, I would have been out too.
And it was an acoustic, so the band's all gone. Half of that show is watching the 16 other members that are with him. By the way,
just shuffle in and out,
singing, dancing, playing, performing outstanding stuff.
Yeah.
So they hit those opening notes of 10th Avenue Freeze Out. And he grabs the mic off the stand and he starts going into the crowd.
Yeah.
And about halfway through the song, and I look at Katie, I give her like the wheels up sign. And we start walking. And it couldn't have worked better, Steve. We beat every idiot out of there.
Good job.
Every buffoon who was waiting to hear that last acoustic song. We beat him out of the parking garage. I flipped 2 double birds as I hit the freeway. And we made it home in about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Well ahead of schedule.
What time did you pull into your driveway?
12:45.
That's good.
I beat Google, suck at Google, by 15 minutes. That's a thing, right? That's not just me.
No, that's everyone.
You're beating Google Maps or
Everyone.
Waze or whatever you use.
Whatever you use. I look at that. I look at that ETA and I think,
yeah,
nice recommendation.
Yeah, and I'll put that on the poll. If you're not trying to beat your navigation system, are you driving wrong? Because you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am thrilled. I'm thrilled that you got to go see him.
I still need, though, and I want to see one with you and Mike. That for me, that is the ultimate goal, is to see Bruce and the E Street Band, and I don't care where, with the 2 Springsteen fans that I know who have seen him and enjoy him, you and Mike.
So is there anything that is remotely in this area over the summer that is a Friday night or a Saturday night? I don't think so.
He is not visiting the state again.
Right.
This
but
year.
I mean, like
Cleveland, I think he's doing.
Yeah, I was going to say Cleveland, Chicago, somewhere like that.
So he is overseas.
Or that would be an easy flight.
Right. He is overseas through July. And then I believe comes back and starts doing outdoor stadiums in the United States in August. When I had looked when those went on sale, there was nothing nearby. So let me, as I have his website open here to try to pull up, because I want to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
I would love to.
I don't care if this came, I would argue, not that close in.
Wait, I know for a fact that there is a show. I think it's
2 in Wrigley.
I think it's August, right? That he's in Philly. It's either July or August. I'm pretty sure he's in Philly the night of August 18th. Is that correct?
Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Wrigley. He's there August 9th. This is a Wednesday. And Friday, August 11th at Wrigley Field.
Okay.
Philadelphia, August 16, which is a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. That's strange because I know a friend of mine said he got tickets for August 18th.
And the 18th. Okay. Sorry, so he's doing the same thing as Wrigley.
16, 18.
2 days.
So, okay.
And then he's doing Gillette Stadium on the August 24th and 26th. That's a Thursday and Saturday.
So that August 11th.
Wrigley, huh? Listen, you don't need to ask me multiple times. I could.
I'm not opposed.
I would love to make that work. I'm assuming we missed out on ticket sale date, but we waited out. We tried to get one of those. Maybe the market crashes like it did for the show in Detroit.
Just hold out hope.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you got to experience it.
Would Annette share the joy with you? Has she been to a Springsteen show?
No.
To be fair, you've only gone to, in the past decade, you've probably been to what?
I don't even think I've been to a show since I've known her.
I was the same, because the last time he was here was 2016, and you weren't going then, and
no, I
were still friends, but we weren't,
there was
we weren't going in 16.
Yeah, I mean, and boy, the last time I saw him was
Philadelphia.
Wrigley.
Wrigley or Pittsburgh?
Man, I don't know. It's all It's all running together.
Either way, probably 10 to 15, at least 10 years ago, closer to 15. Mm-hmm. Do you think Annette would be cheering? Would she sing along? Would she be excited for you?
I think she'd be excited for me. I don't even know if she would. I'm not even sure if she would want to go.
Man, bless Katie's heart. I don't think she cared one iota to be there. Not one
Probably not.
iota. And again, you either love Bruce or you do not. There's not a real middle ground on I'm okay with Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
It's not that type of music that you can just be neutral on. Mm-hmm. It's not Tom Petty. I think Tom Petty you can be neutral on.
Yeah, everybody likes Tom Petty.
But Bruce Springsteen, much like Bob Dylan, you love or you just cannot stand. So Katie went with me, and bless her heart, I don't think she cared. I don't think she enjoyed the music. She definitely did not know most of the music. And goes to show you, though. What a trooper. Didn't feel good.
Yeah, especially since she didn't feel good. That's
outstanding stuff.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm happy that happened. And you finally got to experience it.
We've got a few things that... Well, did we want to get to this today? We've put him on the back burner a couple of times. Did you want to do it? Did you want to ripcord that again? We have the next in line for who has listened to somehow, against all better judgment, all of our content.
Huh. Sounds so.
And on the docket for this go-around is our friend Casey James. Did we want to talk to Casey this week? I've had Casey on hold for 3 weeks now.
Well, I mean, look, if he's been on hold for 3, he can be on hold for 4.
Okay, because we have to talk about, we have done even in terms of this podcast, a horrific job of something. Uh-huh. Horrific.
By the way, there are tickets available.
For Wrigley?
Yeah, on StubHub.
Okay.
$81, $89.
I mean,
they're the worst possible seats in the place.
What if we went into like the 120-ish, a little over 100? Is there anything there that where I'm not, like the guy 2 rows in front of me holding a pair of binoculars?
Okay. I don't know. We're still in the 400 section. Boy, a lot of seats upstairs.
Seems like those went hot, huh?
Boy, the prices just keep getting higher. Isn't there a way that I can sort by?
You could probably filter by section or by price. Yeah, this is great though. We're gonna look into this.
Down in section 7, row 6, $472.
That's for like 4 tickets.
That's for a ticket. Oh no, it says 1 to 3 tickets. Oh no, each.
So it's gonna be
definitely each.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Maybe we can find a middle ground between 80, where we're sitting on the green monster, and 472 where we're licking Bruce's toes.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, unfortunately the Green Monster is in Boston.
That's right. I'm sorry. The
that would be a bad seat if we were
by Boston ticket.
If we were at Fenway for the Wrigley show.
What is the wall called in Wrigley? Why am I struggling to think?
I don't know. It's like the green ivy.
The green wall. The green monster.
No. Nope. Still not. Are you thinking of the bleacher creatures out there and out there in the outfield?
I must be. Thinking of the purple people eater. But again, we have done a horrific job of talking about this.
I'm going to jump up to section 1. Oh, down to 266.
Because coming up,
down to section 2,
as it stands,
208.
This Friday, we are supposed to be.
What do you mean we're supposed to be? We are going to be.
I got to tell you, I'm up in the air.
You're not sure if...
We've done a horrific job of planning this and promoting this at all.
Yeah.
And that falls on both of us. It's been lost in the Pole Badness tournament. But this Friday, Fulton Street Pub and Grill. It's Good Friday. It's the day before the Side Gig Live at Night show.
It is.
It's 2 days before that old bearded man is going to strap that jetpack on his back and launch himself out of a cave.
Fly right out of that cave. Push that rock out of the way. Boom.
Going to lose a sandal on the way out from flying so fast.
Mm-hmm.
The Good Friday Steve and Kyle podcast karaoke fest. First ever, maybe last, taking place this Friday, Fulton Street Pub and Grill. We have the time slotted for about 8 to 11 p.m. We're planning on getting there around 8. I do not know what it's going to be like. It could be super busy. Yeah. It could be dead. We do not have reserved seating as it stands.
Nope.
I don't even know what this venue looks like. I've never been there.
Looks like a bar.
But is there standing room? Like if people want to, can we?
Sure.
Is there get? 8 to 11. Come have a few drinks. We have not done this in many years. The last time we even had a get together must have been Van Wert, right?
Yeah, that's 5 years.
5 years ago this month was Van Wert. So come on out if you're in town. If you live in town, perfect, easy enough. Throw the kids in the room. Throw a lock on the door. Come on out for a few drinks. Sing a few tunes. Head back home. Unlock the door. Clean the walls of the poop. You're all back to normal. if you're coming in town for the Side Gig Live at Night show and you need a place to stay, our friend Timmy has apparently the world's largest suite.
Right. Yeah. He's got it for the full weekend, too, right?
It's ridiculous. If not, let us know. We can put you in contact with him as well.
Yeah.
We would love to see a group of people out there. The event is on Facebook. The details are there. We'll be there around 8 o'clock. I put 11 p.m. We'll see how it's going. Steve and I might bail around 9:15, maybe 9. We come with your singing voice. I've never done this. I'm nervous. I'm terrified. I don't know if I'm going to sing. I don't know if I'm going to do it.
So you're telling me that if I'm up there belting out the lyrics to what's your favorite Springsteen song?
Oh, you're really putting me on
the spot. I mean, you
there.
just said that you love The Promised Land.
I Promised Land, Badlands, but if I'm going to be a real sucker for the single, I really like the Downbound Train from Born in the USA.
Okay. So if I'm up there belting out the lyrics, and there's let's see, I'm blanking on the song, but say there's like a musical, a guitar solo or something that's screeching on for 15, 20 seconds. And I say, let's get my buddy Kyle up here to finish this one out with me. Mm-hmm. You're not coming up? Because then I'm going to look like a horse's ass.
No, I'll come up. I have to come up. I couldn't leave you hanging like that. I could not do that. And here's what I will promise. I have every intention of shutting our event down with doing a duet with you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think we've formally announced it. There's no need to. If you've listened to this podcast long enough, you should know what it is. If not, you'll find out when you're there. Mm-hmm. That'll be the last thing I do is I drop the microphone and walk towards the door to my car and go home. Again, that'll be 9 to 9:15 is the plan. Mm-hmm. Please come out, Fulton Street Pub and Grill, this Friday, April 7th, for the Good Friday Steve and Kyle podcast Karaoke Fest. If we enjoy this, which we never don't.
I have no doubt that we will not enjoy it.
Yeah,
I have no doubt that we will. Is that a double negative?
I have
doubt. Yeah, so that means that we will enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I have no doubt that we won't enjoy it. Those two negatives cancel each other out.
Yeah.
We'll enjoy it. Thank you for working through that.
If this turns out to be something, I've always been nervous leading up to these things we've done, whether it's the Boston trip, whether it's the trip to Van Wert.
Yeah.
One that it's, once people see it's just you and me, they don't care.
Nor should they.
But
are you... are you already thinking, oh man, what am I going to wear?
Oh no, God, no.
I don't want to have a stupid shirt on.
No.
What if my pants aren't ironed?
No, I don't
care
about that.
You going to iron your jeans for this?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to bust out the iron for the denim iron.
Do you have a separate iron for the denim?
Oh, absolutely. I'll put that on the poll. If you don't, you're not doing laundry correctly.
Yeah.
But yes, come on out. I always get nervous about these things, but then once we're there doing them,
They're
love
blessed.
every second.
Yeah, I'm not worried about this because worst case scenario, no one shows up. Mm-hmm. We sit there, have a couple drinks, and then never speak of it again.
Well, we know a few people are coming. We know our friend Chris Pruitt's making the trip.
Chris Pruitt is.
We know Timmy's planning on being there.
Of course, Timmy will be there. I could tell Timmy, I'm showing up to... I'm having a big event tomorrow for taking my garbage down to the curb.
Yep.
And he would be there.
With probably a bell on and a novelty shirt.
Yeah, he'd get a hotel room for it.
I love it. Again, those details on Facebook. We will shoot another reminder out probably midweek on that, on all of our social media accounts. So keep your eyes out. If you're up in the air, please do come out. We'd love to see everybody there. And because, again, it'll be 5 years before we do it again.
Now we have we're kind of up against it here. We got a hard out, but we need to get to the latest round of the 2023 Pole Badness Tournament. So please get us up to speed. Here we go.
If you want to be the best, you got to be a fighter. If you want to be the best, you got to show desire. If you want to be the best,
that's right. Suck it, YouTube. Today's the day, Steve. We are getting from the excessive 8 down to the foolish 4. It is a big week. Mm-hmm. The final matchup in the patently absurd division. The number 8 seed, Cinderella herself. The Steve bracket, I guess we can call it, as the number 8 seed is Chainsaw Steve, the ultimate nemesis of Earthman. Now, this 8 seed has had to beat a number 1 seed and a number 5 seed to get to the excessive 8 to take on the number 6 seed. Is Steve's Murder Jeep tinted with the blood of the innocent? And I don't want to burst any bubbles, Steve. There were no real nail biters in this round. Steamrolls all the way around. Moving on to the Foolish Four from the Patently Absurd division. Is Steve's Murder Jeep tinted with the blood of the innocent with 84% of the vote? Moving on. That'll be taking on the winner of the What the division. The excessive 8 matchup there. The last remaining number 1 seed is the only way to fix your Billy Rubens by correcting your Jimmy Patty mouth, which for my money is very possibly the best poll we have ever put out. And I'm saying not this year, not in this bracket.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Bold statement.
I think it has everything it needs.
Yeah. I mean, we got championship trophies behind us right now, and you're still making that statement.
Now it's taking on another mini Cinderella, the number 6 seed. Is Kyle just a bag of used parts?
Would love for that one to win. Everybody.
Moving on to the Foolish Four. With 92% of the vote, is Kyle just a bag of used parts? The largest win percentage, I believe, in tournament history.
Very nice. Well done, people.
Defeating last week, Kyle just a bag of used parts, winning with 89% of the vote.
So,
I mean, listen.
They knew the mission.
This thing has a number 6 seed, Steve. Has beat a number 3 seed with 86% of the vote. It beat the number 2 seed with 89% of the vote.
Oof.
Did not rest on its laurels.
Just steamrolling through.
It beat the number 1 seed.
I love it.
92% of the vote. I am perturbed at everybody who listens to this podcast. So that is the Foolish Four. One of you or I will be making the Tiresome 2, Steve. Again, that first Foolish Four matchup is Steve's Murder Jeep tinted with the blood of the innocent taking on Is Kyle just a bag of used parts? That'll be that poll will be up early this week, so please do vote.
Yeah. By the time you're listening to this podcast, that will be able to be voted on at
Steve and Kyle.
At Steve and Kyle on Twitter.
Yep. Moving over to the Asinine division, the Foolish Four matchup. The number 4 seed. Should Steve make the union workers refer to him as Big Bacon Steve or Papa Benjamins? Took on the number 2 seed as Captain Hatchet, the crazed fire captain with a hook for a hand and umbrella for a foot, a good horror icon. And I also think that had everything it needed to be an all-timer.
That one's good.
And much like the last one that I considered an all-timer, it's going down in defeat. With 56% of the vote, should Steve make the union workers refer to him as Big Bacon Steve or Papa Benjamins, is moving on to the Foolish Four.
Hard to deny that would look nice on a trophy.
That'll be taking on the winner of this last excessive 8 matchup in the Are They Serious division. The number 1 seed, does Dick Head, the owner of Dick Head Appliances, flick his cigarette at a baby? Taking on the last bastion of Cinderella's slippers hope. The number 7 seed, should Evelyn seek emancipation after getting a coaster as a gift from Steve? With 59% of the vote, there's still life in our very last overall number 1 seed. Does Dickhead, the owner of Dickhead Appliances, flick his cigarette at a baby? That'll be taken on the number 4 seed. Should Steve make the union workers refer to him as Big Bacon Steve or Papa Benjamins? Those are your 2 Foolish Four matchups. Voting this week at Steve and Kyle on Twitter to determine the Tiresome 2 and your 3rd ever poll, and maybe last ever, poll badness champion.
You think?
Well, if we can't get polls up.
Yeah, it's true. It's going to be...
I also wonder if we could get polls up, but then nobody can vote on them. Is that just like us screaming into the void?
Right.
More so than we already are.
Because God knows none of our listeners are verified.
And please don't. If you're contemplating paying the $8...
Just give it to us.
Just pay us $8 a month like Billy Stacks does, and I forget who the other donator is.
Oh, it's Trevor.
Trevor, that's right. Trevor in Nashville. Trevor not in Nashville, Dixon/Burns. Just give us the $8. We'll verify you as a verified fan.
Yeah. It's like our own Patreon.
That's right.
But we take all of it.
And we don't give you anything extra.
No. There's no perks whatsoever. Absolutely nothing in it for you.
Our apologies to Casey James.
Give us
Next
money.
week, though.
Just give us money.
Just please pay us. Casey James, next week. Can we firmly say next week?
Of course.
Casey James, you're on the clock.
It's written in with pen.
That's right. On a computer.
Not just pencil. Yeah, this is a computer pen.
Love it. We will talk to you all next week. Again, the poll is posted at Steve and Kyle on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We will see you Friday night.
Yes.
At the Karaoke Fest. Fulton Street Pub and Grill, 8 p.m. Be there.
Be there, be there, be there.